Now from half guard, again, I can bait him into this. When he starts looking for this underhook, I want to keep as much weight on this as possible. The more I lean over him, yeah, the more I give him a good underhook. So anytime he gets here like this, I'm going to use my armpit heavy on his wrist here like this. So I want to sink my weight here. Now when he tries to lift, all the weight is at the end of his arm. It's not going to happen. If I drop my weight here, he's going to lift, of course. So when he does get that underhook, I clamp. And then I'm going to switch my hips. This armpit is now going to take over again. Try and clamp it down the bottom half. So when I switch, I clamp here. So his underhook is killed. If he tries to lift now, I have a lot of weight on this. I have good base with my feet. My feet aren't just flat like this. I'm on my toes, driving in. And it now frees up this arm. So I'm going to go find his wrist. And I start to push down. This one is here waiting, right into my Kimura. Now, of course, I could finish with this. People don't like this though. They start to extend their arm, stretch it out like this. And some guys are very strong. You can't rebend. So that's fine. When he does extend this, I keep hold of his wrist. This one can come out and I just pin it to the floor. I'm going to rebend his arm by using my head. So, right in the V of the arm, I post my head on the floor and then pull his wrist back in. And look how I'm holding. Like this, palm of my hand on the back of his hand. Already I'm trying to get the angle in the wrist. So from my Kimura grip, he punches out. I keep his wrist, I keep it straight like this. I drop my head to the floor, fold his arm around my head, and I keep his elbow as high as possible. Like this, he'll be able to snatch out. If I take his elbow as high as it'll go, there's no way he can pull out now. So my head slides it up, I can even hold it here like this, and now fold in the wrist. So when he underhooks, clamp as much weight on that as possible. Switch and turn. If he tries to lift now, I have a lot of weight on it. This hand is now free to go find. As I jam it down, this one is here waiting, and I lock up my Kimura. Of course I can attack with my Kimura. He doesn't like it when he punches out. I can let go. This one is now just pinning, and I use my head. Right where the arm bends, in the V of the arm, that's where I'm going to put my head. To the floor, and I fold his arm around my head. Make sure his elbow is as high as it will go. If it's here, he'll be able to pull his arm out. When it's here, he can't pull his arm any further. And we can fold the wrist in. Now, what I started encountering is super strong guys. When I put my head here like this, I tried to pull this in, I couldn't even rebend their arm. So I changed. So sometimes I'll post my head on the floor. If they're very strong, I use my forehead on their forearm, right on the muscle. So I crush their arm. It takes all the power out of the arm and I bring it back in. Then I can drop and then fold in. So clamp, switch, into my Kimura. He straightens out, hold it. I either block with my head or I crush his arm with my head, take all the power out of it, rebend it, and finish on the wrist.